Monte Kamara, his three is off the mark, but the long rebound ends up in Wheeler's hands in a quick launch. Wheeler in that 27-point outburst went 9 of 17 from the floor. Not a great three-point shooter, but he proved in the Missouri win that he can knock down important ones. Farm Rich starting lineup for LSU. It's really the big four: Smart, Thomas, Watford, and Days. And whoever that fifth person is, well, they're also giving them 15 points a game.
Yeah, this is a high-octane team in LSU. They can score for a variety of reasons. You mentioned one of the guys that only catches and shoots it. He puts it on the floor, makes it tough for bigs to defend it.
Fagan off the mark in the corner. We'll talk about Georgia's real estate and getting to the corners on the offensive end a little bit later. The drive by Tom. Dates. Mississippi State and Auburn haven't been impacted by COVID, but they were impacted by winter weather and other teams' issues. Otherwise, every date that's been listed for the Dogs in conference play has been filled. Thomas gets another man in the air, draws a foul to Horn. Nothing doing, trying to go over the top of Days.
And when Georgia's playing its best and winning games, everybody else is contributing. They're shooting the basketball better. When they're losing.
On 1 of 10 shooting, 0 for 3 from the floor, no assists and 4 turnovers in the loss to Florida on Saturday.
Again, jumping the ball handler.
There are gains on the floor for LSU. Offensive-minded guard. Here's Thomas. Shot clock winding down. 2 in front of him, and he puts up an air ball. Hit the end line.
Another jumper.
First 3 for Fagan. He's already got off 3 shots. And he's tied for the Georgia lead early with 5. Thomas to the logo. Katie Johnson on the floor. Now all of a sudden you got some weapons. Here's Thomas after the takeaway. Nearly walked.
Well, when you mention those names, that's when Georgia plays well, when everybody contributes. And for LSU, he quietly goes about his business, but he has been spectacular. Last 3 ball games, shooting 60% from the field and averaging nearly 17 a game.
Thomas for 3. Cam Thomas down, and an assist to Andrew Garcia.
Eder has been able to get a lot of minutes the last 5 ball games because of the thing.
Thomas with the 3. Wheeler will launch. And a rebound to Hyatt. Thomas can be streaky. Made one a moment ago. See if he gets another one off. He will indeed.
And
guessing that he'd be back next year, but for his season to be over, I think would be really tough. You think back to how different players have handled getting ready for the next level. Remember Cole Anthony at North Carolina had a leg injury, and there's thoughts that he was just going to shut it down. He's like, no, I'm here to play. And he came back and played for North Carolina, now with the Orlando. And followed up by Ty Fagan. Fagan's got 9. Georgia has a 5-point lead.
Fagan has his average. He's been active on both ends of the floor. Shoots nearly 60% from the field. Doesn't take a lot of shots, but there's have been some games where he shoots an extremely high percentage. And if he does that on the offensive end, this Georgia's a different team.
Thomas just 3 for 10 in this game. Here's Fagan again. Thomas, nobody picked him up, took it all the way in and drew the foul. Katie Johnson from deep. Georgia just 3 of 16 from 3, yet up 13. Thomas was looking for a foul, didn't finish first half. LSU scored 50 or better in each of the 2 halves against Auburn. They've been limited to almost half that in this half. Thomas changed direction, gets it to go, and
they've not shot it well. And they've not shot it well tonight. They're 5 of 19 beyond the 3-point line.
See if LSU can find a sense of urgency on the offensive end. Smart to Thomas, to the elbow. Yep.
Year, partner. I mean, KD threw a wild pass that somehow got through, and Horn laid down and rolled it back to him. Still got a bucket.
Pinball League Play of the Year for sure. Tom
Crean. You see Tom Crean, he shrugged his shoulders. He shrugged his shoulders.
Cam Thomas turnaround. I would go with Adams family. That was always a real.
Yeah, in the history books. So rare today, you know, history books that all the years they've been playing basketball at Georgia, all the great players, and the first triple-double ever. And many of these teams, and Georgia would fit in that, in the middle of this pack this season. I mean, even in upper tier. I mean, you know, Missouri would say, God, we're not consistent night in, night out. So,
one of the issues with game recognition in this odd season, he said his guys don't always realize how. Kamar's having a whale of a game. He's got 21. If you look at the triple-double list in the SEC record book, you run across Shaquille O'Neal's name again and again.
If you're a competitor, I mean, if you're a competitor, it doesn't. I mean, you're going. You're going. Like if you're Cam Thomas, you're going, because what you think of, you rarely.
Here that's logged some minutes and played in some big games for LSU. Non-contact injury. Looked like he's already off to the side. We'll monitor that.
Cam Thomas.
Defensive rebounding rate. They're getting good looks right now.
That was Devin Cambridge from the corner. He had a monster game against LSU last time these teams met. He had 7 of 10 from deep. Thomas falling away. Elsewhere in SEC play tonight, Auburn is at home against Florida. It's an Auburn team playing without Sharif Cooper. One of the most dynamic players in the league is out with an ankle injury. But interesting to see what Auburn can put together on offense without their leader.
Well, we know since Cooper's been back, when he's not been on the floor, they have.
Georgia 4 of 10 to start this game. Wheeler on the offensive glass. You don't see that very often, do you? Kyer steps through and draws a foul on.
It's the leadership of Javonte Smart. Tom, he knocks in the 3 last possession. Now he makes the bucket. He had a shot, had a 3, ball fakes it, gets to the lane, could have shot it, makes an assist to a teammate.
Kyer from deep.
Points already in this ball game, 4 rebounds. He's got 6 double-doubles on the season, which ties him in this league with Jeremiah Tillman, Tolu Smith.
Scoring .784 points per possession. That's going to be their worst half of the year, where Georgia comes in at 1.184. Here's Xavier Wheeler.
Tom, if you're Georgia, you want LSU, make them to continue to defend, trying to get his guys more active on that defensive end. But notice, Tom, again, notice the hands. I mean, it's kind of a soft, nothing aggressive. Every pass is easy to make by this Georgia team against the defense. Shot was easy from the corner, not challenged.
Here this season. Set the freshman assist record last year with 139. He's already moved past that. And his career average at 5.49 would be second most in the league this year.
Did you see where he stood where he took the ball out of bounds underneath? He was way back, because then he doesn't. Watford, who's guarding the ball, doesn't bother him. And I think it's brilliant that Tom Crean always has Wheeler take the ball out of bounds. He's got the best vision, the most confident with the ball.
He would later break Oscar Robertson's all-time NCAA scoring record. And he did it with plenty of time to spare.
And a big offensive rebound on the other side. LSU has really turned the screws recently in the last couple possessions in this game, getting shots they want, playing out in transition, and scoring quite easily.
That was Josh LeBlanc on that end for LSU in the paint. And it will fall off and put back there.
How they're going to crash the offensive glass. Now, they have been impactful all year doing that. But LSU's flipped the script here right now. They've got 5 second chance points. They've been active, engaged. And Auburn's not been willing to meet the match physically.
They bring a double to the post, dribbled out of there, and that will leave an opportunity for a drive, and he uses heavy.
Javonte Smart, we talk about Thomas a lot, but Smart was one of those lead guys that played on that team that went to the Sweet 16 the last time we had an NCAA tournament 2 years ago. As the junior kind of elder statesman, you know, his ability to get in the lane and use his body and be smart and be kind of clinical, not being like an explosive athlete or anything, is outstanding, and he's helped them free of that, but he does it quite a bit.
Consensus 5-star coming out of Oak Hill Academy, where he set the Oak Hill scoring record. If you know about the talent they've had at that school, that is impressive.
I've let that slip through their fingers a bit.
Cooper leading the country in assists, does not have one in this first half to this point. Williams. Day's got it, but they holding that right knee. Cooper missed the first 11 games of the season for Auburn. And then when he came and showed up, he came out guns blazing. He wasn't even able to practice with the team for a good chunk of the early part of the season. They'd see him coming on the floor when they were walking off the floor, working with athletic trainers and such. Cooper on the floor again after that pass to the wing. It's off
offensive end, where you're either getting beat off the bounce, you're in rotation all day long, or at times you're falling asleep on knowing the personnel. When Smart's getting into his rhythm dribble, you got to get up into his body, things like that.
Here's Jalen Williams. And they'll drag Watford down.
Yeah, well, you consider he's only scored 4 points in the last 2 games, Fulke. So Rick Barnes says, you know what, I'm going to try something different with you. And the energy level of Fulke early right now, a really good thing for Rick Barnes.
Vescovi's first 3, that's out. It beat Drake 81-54 was the final in that game. Thomas, who's looking for his first basket, can't get that to go. So it's been the Smart show with 9. Thomas doesn't have a point yet. We're midway through the first half.
And that Tennessee offense now looks different with 11:45 back on it.
Springer work.
They've scrambled well out of it. The lag time hasn't not been long. Really good defense by LSU.
That's Fulkerson's shot. Pons gets the offensive rebound. He's double teamed. Gets it to Fulkerson. That's a Vescovi 3. No good. Another offensive rebound after a good battle from Josiah.
That's probably
Days wide open 3. It was set up nicely, but it's a miss.
That is the mismatch guy that Will Wade has. 4 in white. Darius Days completely changes LSU's team when he's on the floor.
Johnson stepped right into that one.
That ball because you're concerned about Thomas. Days just going to stand out there. He is a catch and shoot guy, Days. He's not going to put that ball on the floor into a shot. It's not getting side to side. They're not being aggressive. They're not getting much out of their run game in transition. There's a lot of stuff there, but like I drew up going into halftime, you're going to have to play in a crowd if you're Tennessee today. And can you clean that part of the game up? Because the white jerseys are running at you, making it a physical game.
LSU came out in a bit of a zone, then they modified it, went into a man-to-man by the big fella, Darius Days.
And Ravi, just so you know, you are one of the 5 or 6 people that I take advice from.
Oh. Okay, well, boy, that's a lot on my shoulders. I appreciate that. I would probably Tennessee, Jimmy, they've had open 3s. They've made 5 of them, but they've missed 11. 5 to 16. That's a big story of the game so far. Their inability to knock that open 3 down.
And they're going to continue to get the opportunities because, again, they're driving into the paint. The white jerseys are making it a foot race to the ball, and you have to be able to make the next pass.
Tough shot. Yeah. He has a trailer who was there high. Way downtown goes Thomas. Oh, Watford had a chance. Look at him. He's frustrated with himself. Had a chance to come down with it and put it back in.
Thomas shot that from the X in Cox.
Bobby blew by him, laid it up and in. You're right. That's that green light right at that free throw line he saw.
Yeah, Javonte Smart, it's not by accident where he's driving that ball 75 feet away. He gets in the slot early and attacks that slot for 4 or 5 dribbles. And if you're not there to take it away, it's money for him as a finisher.
Bailey